blasphemy. LeBron James. Stephen A. Smith says that Errol Spence has made a grave mistake. He shouldn't have activated the rematch clause. Why did he do that? That's what I want to talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Gang, gang. Sports commentator Stephen A. Smith, LeBron, has opened up and gave his thoughts in the world of boxing about Errol Spence. He says, and I quote, "The reality is that Errol Spence Jr. doesn't need to be back in the ring. You saw him. You heard the slurring of the words. I know it was the immediate aftermath of the beatdown, but my goodness, we know what we saw." Crawford's trainer, Bomac, has said there's no specific date that has been discussed, but he hopes it'll happen before the end of the year. My response to that would be, how could you possibly hope that? I mean, you want to buy as much time as you possibly can for Errol Spence to fully recover looks-wise, just the scars. It was bad, y'all. I love Errol Spence Jr. I'm not cracking jokes. I'm not laughing. I don't think it's funny. It was just bad. He does not need to get back in the ring with Terrence Crawford this year. Me personally, period. He don't need to get back in the ring until next summer, end quote. Now, you know how they say the more the merrier. That's not always the case in the world of boxing. Like, I do like when boxing reaches different markets, whatever blows up the sport of boxing. But one thing that is bothersome is when you have people who try to narrate the tough seas in the waters of boxing, and they're casual and they open their mouth with all these opinions and this, that, and the third. But we ultimately know they don't really know all there is to know about boxing. And I think that's the case here with Stephen A. Smith. I don't know what he knows, but it doesn't sound like he knows how boxing operates. He's saying that, oh, Errol Spence shouldn't do this. He shouldn't have triggered the rematch. We all saw it. He should wait till next summer. I know what you did last summer. All these different things. But that's not necessarily how rematch clauses work. For example, when you have a rematch clause that is written into the contract, you have a certain time frame thereafter in order to trigger and activate the rematch clause. So you can't, so as to not hold the person's career up. Like, it wouldn't be fair for Errol Spence to take a year off and then Crawford has to take a year off because Errol Spence is taking a year off. So that's what the point of the deadline is for, because some people don't even like rematch clauses to begin with. But if there are going to be there, then there has to be some type of time frame so as to not hold up the person, the champion. Like, there's no reason for Terrence Crawford's career to be held up. He's not recovering. He took very little, if any, punishment. He won. He has the belts. He's still undefeated. There's really no reason for his career to be stifled or held up. So that's the whole point of the deadline. And furthermore, in rematch clauses, oftentimes there's going to be something that stipulates the fight needs to happen by X amount of date. So I don't think Errol Spence has the luxury necessarily, depending on what was written and how it was written in that contract, to just wait, recover, and fight him next summer or fight him next November. You probably don't have that much time, because again, similar to the deadline that I just mentioned, you can't hold up somebody's career. So there's certain language that has been written into the contract that specifies. It's all about specific. The devil in the details, right? So at the end of the day, Errol Spence probably has a certain window in which he had to A, activate and trigger the rematch clause, but B, has to fight Terrence Crawford by said day, because again, it would be unfair to the winner to have their career held up while you feel better. Errol Spence lost. He lost bad. I agree there. He lost every round pretty much outside of the first round I gave to Errol Spence, but he got dropped 3 times. It just wasn't his night. You know, there's nothing else that needs to be said. But at the end of the day, that's not how rematch clauses work. You have to ish or get off the pot. And I think that's what Stephen A. Smith is failing to realize. He's going off of more so emotion, which is what casuals tend to do. He's going off emotion. What's the point of having a rematch clause written into the contract and then you lose and then you don't exercise it? Why did you and your team insist on putting a rematch clause if because you lost and Stephen A. Smith felt the loss was too bad, you're not going to trigger the rematch clause? And I advised Stephen A. Smith to spend just more time one-on-one with fighters. I've spent a lot of time with different fighters. I have them on my contacts list, know a lot of fighters and trainers and former fighters, etc. And the reality is these guys and girls that lace them up and call themselves boxers are insanely defiant. They defy all odds. Like, some people aren't supposed to be here, from gang activity to poverty. Like, I know fighters personally where when they first started, their family was pretty much dead broke. They were getting bullied and they were impoverished and all these different trials and tribulations. They didn't have money for boxing supplies, but somehow their parents scraped up, whatever to pay their gym dues or whatever and make it happen. And now they're successful boxers. So there's a lot of people that come from these inner cities and gang territories and just these circumstances that you wouldn't wish upon somebody, and they defy all odds. So I do find it a bit weird that Stephen A. Smith and Eddie Hearn and all these people weighing in, acting like they don't understand the nature of this. Boxing is live by the sword, die by the sword. And Errol Spence, you're probably not going to be able to teach him otherwise. Now, it's up to the commission to ensure the fighter's health and safety and the referees and stuff. So if Errol Spence, something is going on outside of the scope where he actually can't fight, then it's up to them to kind of nab and catch that. But whether you believe he should do the rematch or not, it's his right contractually to get that going. And people keep playing dumb and weighing in with their opinion. But I will say this. There's been a lot of people, famous inventors, who have these crazy patents and come up with Apple and Apple computers and all these things. And there were people just like Stephen A. Smith or me or you who criticized and said this will never work, like Thomas Edison and the light bulb or whatever. There are so many people who probably said, oh, you're foolish, you're crazy. I believe the late, great Nelson Mandela was the one that came up with the quote, and he says everything is impossible until it's done. And that's the reality of it. I'm not saying that Errol Spence absolutely wins. He has a very big uphill battle, and this would be a bad thing to lose just as bad or worse back to back. But at the end of the day, people thought Anthony Joshua was crazy and was going to lose in the Ruiz rematch, and it didn't happen. He ended up going to Saudi Arabia and recovering his titles. Many people thought that Lennox Lewis was past it and Hasim Rahman knocked him out bad, so it was going to be a repeat. Didn't happen. He knocked out Hasim Rahman in the rematch. People thought Sugar Ray Leonard was crazy and Roberto Duran, Hands of Stone, had his number. He came back and avenged that twice. So boxers are defiant. This is just the nature of the beast. Sometimes it works where the rematch is completely different from the first fight. And then sometimes it happens where it's a repeat. But all in all, no one can make that decision except for Errol Spence, his family, and his team. And people just got to respect that otherwise. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Stephen A. Smith, rematch, Errol Spence, Crawford. What are your thoughts? And I'm out.
Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks.
The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We work it.